Finish on a high at Anfield in front of our supporters, but there's no getting away from it. You know, come the end of that game, when I get my chance to say goodbye, it will be an emotional time. Well, you'll have to ask Brendan what his next two team selections are going to be, but I want to play every minute possible, of course I do. He'll know that. I think all you people will know that, and that's what I intend to do. I want to put in a good performance personally at the weekend and try and get a win and say goodbye to everyone at Anfield and all the supporters worldwide, but I still feel I want to be involved against Stoke. Well, I'm not really one for attention or focus, and I feel a bit sorry for my teammates this week. Obviously a lot of the tension's on me, and I'm sure it will be at the weekend, but you know, when that whistle goes, it'll all be about the team and the team trying to get 3 points. So all I can do is apologise if I've took any attention away from all the players. It's never been my intention to grab any glory or attention all alone. I'm aware it's all about the team at this club, and you know, from day one I've always tried to pull in the right direction for the team. Unfortunately this weekend it's only normal after 17 years that the attention falls on me, but I apologise for it. No, I think it'll be the supporters as a whole. They've given me incredible support since day one, and they've been there for me throughout this journey, and as I said earlier, I've had some really cruel lows and I've had some incredible highs, but their support to me has never changed. There might be a few individuals who's changed the opinion on me over the 17 years, which is fine, but I think as a whole, you know, at Anfield and around the world, I've had incredible support, so that'll be the most emotional goodbye. But you know, just here at Melwood, you know, the staff, the players that I work with day in, day out, that's what I'm going to miss the most, and also playing at Anfield. I haven't got a clue. I don't know what it's going to be like come the end of the game, when I get the chance to say goodbye for real. I've been dreading this moment in a strange way, because I'm going to miss it so much, you know, playing at Anfield, playing in front of the fans. I'm going to miss playing with my teammates, so it will be emotional, but the plan's to try and keep it together, stay strong and try and avoid the tears. I think from a coaching point of view, from the ages of 8 to 18, I have to mention Steve Highway, Hugh McCauley and Dave Shannon, because they prepared me to become a professional. They helped me as a person and as a player to be ready for all the challenges that come your way once you become a first team player. Then I owe an awful lot to Gerrard, who gave me my opportunity here. He was almost like a father figure, put his arm around me and, you know, helped me an awful lot tactically, improved me a lot, and I won my first 3 trophies in the treble under Gerrard, and then he gave me the captaincy at 23, which was a very bold thing to do, you know, at a club this size, to take the captaincy off a fantastic player like Sam Napier and give it to me was a very brave thing to do. So I owe an awful lot to him. Well, I think I'd take bits and bobs from them all. If I did ever want or become a manager, I think I'd like to do it my way and take bits and bobs from them all. I've been very lucky to work with some fantastic managers over the year. You know, certainly Brendan now, I've enjoyed the last 3 years with him. I almost wish I met him a lot earlier when I was in the peak of my playing days, because I certainly think I'd certainly be sitting here talking about trophies now. You know, getting the chance to play for Kenny Dalglish was a wonderful experience as well. Someone who I watched many tapes of and is my dad's hero as well. That was a great time. You know, Roy Hodgson's time didn't work out here, but I've got a good relationship with him. More so at England, of course, but you know, all the managers I've had a great relationship with, and I've always tried to learn off them all. You know, Rafa Benitez as well, who, you know, we shared Istanbul with. You know, tactically, as a player, he improved me so much as well. So it's difficult to pick one, or, you know, pick who I liked the most, who I thought was the best. You know, but as a whole, I've been so lucky to work with so many. My family, I think they're the number one. My family and friends who've been with me every single game, or the majority of the games, home and away, all over Europe, and they're the people that are with you in and around the games when you're either on an incredible high or you don't want to come out your room. They're the people that help pick you up and get you going for that next game. So my family and friends are the most important people to me, and then obviously everyone connected to the club, and also a special mention to the media as well. You know, you've always been respectful and honest with me, and I've tried to do the same back, so I thank all of you as well. I think it's a bit early to answer all of them questions. I've certainly got ambitions to stay in the game. I'm currently taking out my UEFA coaching badges and trying to progress up that ladder, but I think to take a position or a role at this football club, first and foremost, you have to be good enough. You never take a role here on reputation or name. You know, the demands and the expectation at any role in this football club are so high. I think you'd be very naive and stupid to take a role just because you're Steven Gerrard or because you've had a good career on the pitch. So I think in a couple of years' time, when I've come out of the city for a bit and I reflect and look in, if there's a role offered that I feel like I can contribute and that I'm good enough for, I'll certainly consider it, because, you know, I've been coming to this club since I was 8 years of age, and I do feel as if, you know, I can contribute in some role in the future. Well, I think every season this squad and this club always tries to add good quality players to it to challenge for the next season, what's available, what trophies we can try and win. I think this season we fell a bit short, but I still feel that there's a fantastic core of players here with huge potential. I'm hoping that the owners will back Brendan again and bring in that bit of quality that can help us go one step further next year. We've come very close in a couple of cup competitions this year, and we've also got close to the top 4 positions, and that's with losing arguably the best player in the world last year in Luis Suarez, and also not having our star striker available for much of the season in Daniel Sturridge. So to come so close without them two available, I think we've done okay, but I think next year we can go one better. You know, still to this day, the hairs on my neck stand up. It's the best night of my life. I think it's the pinnacle of every footballer domestically. It's the best cup to win, and it's just the way we went about it and how the evening panned out. I think it's going to go down in history as probably the best Champions League final ever. And as captain of that team, there was no prouder man on the planet that night. I think a game will definitely be the Everton game when I got the hat-trick. After all the stick I've had off the Blue Noses over the years, that was a nice feeling. But I think if you're talking about one individual goal that was so important for the team and the club, that helped us progress to that incredible night in Istanbul, it'd have to be Olympiacos. You know, the timing of the goal and what was needed on that night. You know, in the dressing room after, I realised it was an important goal to help the team progress, but it wasn't till Istanbul had sort of calmed down a couple of weeks later, when I sort of reflected on the whole journey of the Champions League triumph, that I realised, you know, the Olympiacos goal was such a huge goal. For me, I'm always going to be biased towards this club, and I said earlier in the week, my advice to Raheem is where he's at now at his age. I think he needs a manager who believes in him, who's going to play him, who's going to help coach him, who's going to learn him. And I think there's no one better out there than Brendan Rodgers. So for me, my opinion is he should sign a new deal here. I think it'll be the best for his career. But that's something I can't control. But the young lads here, they've got no better manager to learn off, you know, and get attention off, because Brendan's a fantastic man manager, and he puts a lot of time and effort into every individual in the squad. I think the danger for these younger players is they want it all too soon, and they chase it, and they become one of a number if they go to any other club, and they don't get that attention or that love or that care that they'll get here at Liverpool.
We're at the stage of the season where we're still looking to win games. We're not, you know, the wheels aren't out and landing on holiday at all. But Stephen's obviously been a big part of what I've done since I've been here, and I said he'll obviously play his final game at Anfield tomorrow.
There's been talks that already there's been some kind of conversation between the club and Stephen that he will return in some capacity in the future, maybe a coaching role, what have you. How far along would you say those talks are, if indeed they have taken place, and how suited to such a role would he be?
Well, it's certainly something that I've addressed with him a number of times. You know, I always feel that Stephen leaving here, of course, as the player, it certainly wasn't a permanent one. For me, certainly as long as I'm here, which I've done in bringing former players back to the club working in different capacities. But certainly with Stephen, he's one that I felt that when his time was going to be over here as a player, whatever happened after that, that he'd certainly be somebody that I would love to have work. And if it was coaching, he was wanting to go down, because once he finishes as a player, it's a different ball game when you work into coaching and management. It's a different idea from what he's been used to over the last 20 odd years. So that opportunity for him to come back will always be there as long as I'm here. And if coaching is the route that he wants to go down when he finishes in America, then that's certainly something that we will discuss in more detail. At this moment in time, when I spoke about it before, it certainly wasn't something he was interested in. He still very much wants to play every minute of every game. He works hard during the week, but when his time comes, and because of our relationship, we'll obviously be in contact when he does leave, and that'll maybe open a door for the coming years.
Obviously there's a lot of speculation as well, considering who you're going to bring in the summer, numerous names, but for yourselves to progress, the view is being expressed that you need to buy established strikers, established players. How much is that going to be the transfer policy this summer, and how much of a convincing job do you have to do without Champions League football?
Today for me is not about talking about transfer policy and who we're going to get in and not get in. Today's about commemorating the career of a wonderful player, a phenomenal player, Liverpool player, and Stephen, and obviously about the game against Crystal Palace.